Welcome to this presentation on gaslighting. It's a topic that touches many of us deeply. Throughout our time together, we'll explore the intricate dynamics of gaslighting, its significant impact on the recipients, and pathways to healing. This presentation is about recognizing the complexities of this manipulation and providing you with the support, guidance, and resources to navigate the challenges of gaslighting and its aftermath, and to help you reclaim your inner strength. Together, we'll embark on this journey of awareness and healing, where I hope that you will feel empowered and understood. Your presence here is valued and you matter. So take a moment to settle in, and together we'll navigate through this journey, knowing that healing and rebuilding are possible. Before we get started, I'd like to briefly introduce myself. Even though this presentation is pre-recorded, I feel that it's important to establish a connection with you. By providing a glimpse into my background and experiences, I hope to foster a sense of trust. With over 30 years of experience as a psychologist and relationship specialist, I've had the privilege of walking alongside individuals, couples, and families through many of life's ups and downs. My professional journey has been incredibly rewarding, taking me from a psychiatric hospital for children and adolescents to a community mental health center, to a college counseling center, and even to a Veterans Administration medical center where I specialized in post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and behavioral medicine. I had the honor and privilege of working with veterans from the Vietnam War, the Korean War, and Desert Storm. These diverse experiences have deepened my understanding of human resilience and the complexities of relationships. On a personal note, I've also navigated my own journey of divorce since 2007, where I was the primary parent to my 3 wonderful children now in their 20s. This personal experience, combined with my professional expertise and experiences, has shaped me into a compassionate and trusted guide for individuals and couples and families at every stage of their lives and relationships. As a member of respected organizations like the American Psychological Association, the Georgia Psychological Association, and the Georgia Office of Dispute Resolution, I'm committed to staying current and providing the best care possible. But most importantly, every day, I feel grateful for the opportunity to make a positive impact in people's lives, helping them find joy and resilience despite life's challenges. Gaslighting is a nuanced and significant topic, and it's essential to approach it with empathy and understanding. So let's get started. Let's delve into the intricate world of gaslighting. It's not just a term we've heard thrown around, it's a complex phenomenon that profoundly impacts those who experience it. It's more than just manipulation. It's a deliberate attempt to undermine someone's perception of reality and sanity. Picture someone subtly twisting your words, denying events that occurred, or making you doubt your own memory or judgment. It's like living in a perpetual state of confusion and self-doubt. There are psychological tactics. Gaslighting operates through a range of these tactics, including denial, misdirection, contradiction, and misinformation. These tactics are carefully crafted to control the victim's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. For instance, you may be told one thing only to have it denied or dismissed later, leaving you feeling bewildered and questioning your own sanity. At its core, gaslighting is about power and control. The gaslighter seeks to gain dominance over the victim, often for personal gain or to satisfy their own ego. By eroding the victim's sense of reality and self-worth, the gaslighter manipulates them into dependency and submission. Unlike physical abuse, where the evidence is often visible, gaslighting is insidious and difficult to detect. It's a form of psychological abuse that leaves no physical scars, but it inflicts deep wounds in the victim's psyche. Because it operates beneath the surface, gaslighting can be challenging to recognize and even harder to prove, making it a particularly insidious form of abuse. So, understanding gaslighting is the first step toward reclaiming your power and breaking free from its grip. By recognizing the signs and trusting your instincts, you can begin to regain control over your reality and rebuild your sense of self-worth. Remember, you are not alone, and there is hope for healing. There's an interesting backstory to the term gaslighting. Back in 1938, there was a play called Gaslight by Patrick Hamilton, which later became a movie in 1944. And I think most people are familiar with the movie more so than the play. In this story, there's a husband who plays mind games with his wife, making her doubt her sanity by dimming the gas lights in their home, and then acting like nothing's changed when she notices. Now here's what's fascinating. The classic example perfectly captures the essence of gaslighting. It's about intentionally messing with someone's perception of reality in order to gain power and control over them. Since then, the term gaslighting has become widely used to describe similar manipulative behaviors. It's like shining a light on the sneaky tactic, so we can recognize it when it happens and put a stop to it. Let's start unpacking gaslighting. It's a subtle yet insidious form of manipulation. Picture this. Someone capitalizes on trust to distort your reality, leveraging information they have that you don't, to skew your perspective. It's like being a puppet in a show where you didn't even know there were strings. What's the victim's challenge? The challenge is recognizing gaslighting can be surprisingly tricky. That's partly due to cognitive dissonance. It's our mind's way of rejecting information that conflicts with our emotions or beliefs. When we're emotionally invested, our judgment can get clouded and we miss the signs that something's off. Behind the gaslighter's mask. Individuals who gaslight often share certain traits, sometimes rooted in psychological issues. They might be seeking control or battling insecurities. Some may have personality disorders that predispose them to such manipulative tactics. Always remember, questioning your reality in the face of manipulation is a common response, and it's not a reflection of your strength or intelligence. It's important to trust your instincts and seek support when things just don't add up. How can you recognize gaslighting? There are behavioral indicators. Gaslighters will often exhibit certain behaviors that give them away, like habitual lying and blaming others for their own faults. They're masters of manipulation, twisting the truth to suit their needs. And there are emotional signs in victims. If you're feeling confused, anxious, or constantly doubting yourself, it could be a sign that you're experiencing gaslighting. These emotions often creep in when someone is messing with your perception of reality. Gaslighting has an impact on decision making. It can seriously mess with your ability to make decisions and trust your own judgment. You may start second guessing yourself, wondering if you're making the right choice or if you're just imagining things. Believe it or not, there is a gaslighting language. Pay attention to the words used by gaslighters. They'll often say things like, "You're being paranoid," or "I never said that," to make you question your own memory and sanity. By recognizing these signs, you can start to protect yourself from the harmful effects of gaslighting. Let's take a look at some examples of gaslighting. First, we're going to start with personal relationships. In romantic relationships, picture this. Someone brushes off your hurt feelings after an insult by saying that you're just too sensitive and that it was all just a joke. Does that sound familiar? With friendships, imagine a friend denies ever saying something hurtful, making you doubt your own memory of a conversation. There are family dynamics. Now, in family situations, you might find yourself in a disagreement with a relative who conveniently remembers past events in a way that completely undermines your perspective. Now we're going to move on to the professional realm. There's superior manipulation. Think of a scenario where your manager brushes off your valid concerns about workload by questioning your work ethic or even your memory of prior discussions. There's colleague deception. Have you ever had a coworker steal your ideas in meetings, then act like you never even contributed? It's not fun. Now let's move on to public figures and media. There's political rhetoric all across the board. We've seen it. There's also manipulation in the media. Sometimes cherry-picking information to paint a one-sided picture, leaving you wondering if you're getting the whole story. Last but not least, there's online and social media, and we're all familiar with this. There's cyberbullying. It's unfortunately common. Someone sends you nasty messages, then brushes off your hurt feelings by saying, "You're just overreacting." There are misinformation campaigns. Let's not forget about the spread of unverified information online, followed by attacking anyone who tries to set the record straight. These examples show just how sneaky gaslighting can be, creeping into different parts of our lives and messing with our perceptions and relationships. But recognizing it is the first step to putting a stop to it. Diving deeper into gaslighting in relationships. Picture this. Gaslighters thrive on having control over their victims. They create a dynamic where you end up often feeling dependent on them for many things, emotionally, financially, you name it. It's like they may hold all the cards and you're left feeling powerless. Next, let's look at isolation. Gaslighters are sneaky about cutting you off from your support system. They'll make you believe that they're the only ones who understand you while distancing you from family and friends who could help you see through the manipulation. It's a tactic to make you more vulnerable and easier to control. There's a cycle of abuse. This cycle is a tricky one. It often starts with a honeymoon phase where everything seems really great, but then it can quickly spiral into devaluation. Gaslighters will tear you down emotionally only to reel you back in with false promises and apologies, restarting the cycle all over again. It's like a never-ending roller coaster of emotions. Recovery challenges, we're not going to sugarcoat it. Leaving a relationship marred by gaslighting is tough. There are unique challenges that you're going to face, from dealing with your emotional scars to rebuilding your self-esteem and reclaiming your independence. But know this, you're not alone in this journey. It is a tough road ahead, but with support and determination, you can break free from the grip of gaslighting and build a brighter future for yourself. You do deserve to be treated with respect and love, always. How about gaslighting in the workplace? Power dynamics. Let's start by exploring these dynamics. In many workplaces, there's a hierarchy where certain people hold more power than others, and unfortunately, this can create the perfect environment for gaslighting to thrive. When someone higher up in the hierarchy starts messing with your perception of reality, it's easy to feel helpless and trapped. The impact on a career. Now, let's talk about what impact this can have on your career. Gaslighting can have serious consequences, from setbacks in your career progression to missing out on opportunities and even damage to your professional reputation. It's like being stuck in quicksand, struggling to get ahead while someone's constantly pulling you down. The culture of the organization also plays a big role here. Some workplaces have a toxic culture where gaslighting is normalized or even encouraged. It's like everyone turns a blind eye to the manipulation, making it even harder for victims to speak up and seek help. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are measures organizations can take to prevent gaslighting. Implementing clear policies against harassment and discrimination, providing training on recognizing and addressing gaslighting behaviors, and fostering a culture of open communication and respect can all help create a safer and healthier work environment for everyone. I think now's a good time to talk about lying versus gaslighting. Intentionality and impact. Let's start by distinguishing between the two. Lying is usually an occasional thing. Someone tells a lie here or there in order to get out of trouble or avoid an uncomfortable situation. It's not positive, it's not a good thing to do. But gaslighting, that's a whole different ballgame. It's intentional and systematic. It's not just about deceiving someone, it's about manipulating their reality to gain power and control over them. It's like a calculated attack on your sense of truth and sanity. There's psychological manipulation. Gaslighting goes beyond just telling lies. It's about messing with your mind, making you doubt your own perceptions and memories. It's like someone's playing mind games with you, constantly chipping away at your confidence and sense of reality. It's psychological warfare, plain and simple. Now here's where it gets really tricky. Gaslighting doesn't just happen in isolation like lying does. It's deeply embedded in the dynamics of relationships. Unlike lying, which might be a one-off thing here or there, gaslighting systematically undermines trust and balance in relationships. It's like a toxic cycle that keeps repeating itself, leaving you feeling confused, powerless, and questioning everything. Lastly, let's talk about the recovery process. Healing from gaslighting is not easy. It involves untangling the web of psychological trauma and rebuilding your sense of self. It's like peeling back layers of hurt and confusion to find your inner strength again. Lying might not leave as deep of a scar, but gaslighting, it cuts deep, and the road to recovery can be long and challenging. How about the spectrum of manipulation? Let's start by understanding where gaslighting fits into the bigger picture of manipulative behaviors. Manipulation comes in many forms, from subtle persuasion to outright deception. Gaslighting falls on the more extreme end of the spectrum, where the manipulation is systematic, intentional, and designed to undermine your sense of reality and sanity. The tactics and strategies. let's take a closer look at the tactics used in gaslighting compared to other forms of manipulation. Gaslighters are masters of deception, using tactics like denial, misdirection, and contradiction to keep you off your balance. They'll twist the truth, distort reality, and make you doubt your own perceptions and memories. It's like they're playing a game of psychological chess, always one step ahead and constantly shifting the rules to their advantage. But here's the thing. Gaslighting isn't just about telling lies or getting what they want. It's about power and control. Gaslighters have a specific intent to destabilize and control their victims, leaving them feeling confused, powerless, and questioning their own sanity. And the consequences can be devastating, impacting every aspect of your life, from your relationships to your mental health and well-being. So, how do we fight back against gaslighting and manipulation? It starts with awareness and education. By understanding the tactics used by gaslighters and recognizing the signs, we can empower ourselves to resist their manipulation. Surrounding ourselves with supportive communities and building strong social networks can also provide a protective buffer against gaslighting. And most importantly, trust your instincts and never doubt your own reality. You are stronger than you know, and you deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. Let's explore a critical aspect of gaslighting, which is the influence of denial. Firstly, let's understand how gaslighters strategically employ denial. It's like a weapon in their toolkit, used to confuse and disorient their victims. They outright deny their actions or words, causing the victim to question their own memory and sanity. It's a sly maneuver, aimed at keeping you off balance and under their control. Consider the effect of this persistent denial on the victim's reality. Picture constantly being told that your experiences aren't real or that you're imagining things. It's like your sense of reality gets twisted and distorted, leaving you feeling bewildered, uncertain, and full of self-doubt. It's a form of psychological warfare that chips away at your confidence and leaves you questioning everything. So, how do we combat denial? One approach is to keep a record of events. Whether it's jotting things down or saving messages and emails, having concrete evidence can help reaffirm your reality and counter the gaslighter's denials. Additionally, surrounding yourself with supportive individuals who validate your experiences and remind you of what's real is crucial. Lastly, let's acknowledge the broader psychological impact of denial. It's not just the victims who suffer. Even the perpetrators can be affected. Denial becomes a shield for them to evade facing their own actions and accountability, perpetuating a harmful cycle of manipulation and denial for everyone involved. So, to sum up, denial is a potent tool in gaslighting, but it's not insurmountable. By recognizing the tactics employed by gaslighters, affirming our reality, and seeking support from others, we can break free from the clutches of denial and reclaim our sense of truth and self-worth. How do gaslighters isolate their victims? Well, they're very crafty in their approach, and they employ strategies like controlling communication and limiting social interactions. This might mean monitoring your phone calls, restricting your access to loved ones, or even sabotaging your relationships. These actions aim to keep you under their thumb and cut off from sources of support. When you're separated from your support network, it amplifies feelings of vulnerability, dependence, and susceptibility to continued gaslighting. You might find yourself feeling increasingly alone, uncertain, and unable to trust your own judgment. This makes it easier for the gaslighter to continue to manipulate and control. But there are ways to break free from isolation and rebuild your support systems. Start by reaching out to trusted friends that you've had in the past, family members or support groups who can offer a listening ear and a helping hand. Reconnecting with old hobbies or interests can also help you regain a sense of identity and independence. Lastly, let's discuss how we can prevent isolation from happening in the first place. It's really important for individuals and communities to be vigilant and intervene when they notice signs of isolation tactics. By fostering an environment of openness, empathy, and support, we can create spaces where isolation is less likely to occur. Now we're going to explore a critical aspect of gaslighting, which is the cycle. Let's start by unraveling the phases in the cycle of gaslighting. Gaslighters, again, are skilled at navigating through these phases, exploiting vulnerabilities, and systematically undermining the victim's reality and self-worth. It's like being trapped in a maze where the gaslighter holds all the strings, leaving you feeling confused, powerless, and doubting your own perceptions. So, let's take a closer look at the gaslighting cycle in emotionally abusive relationships. Imagine it like a twisted dance, with the gaslighter leading the steps. The first step is idealization. It starts off with a whirlwind romance. The gaslighter showers you with love, compliments, and attention. They make you feel like you're walking on air, like you found your perfect match. The second step is devaluation, but here is where things start to shift. The gaslighter's behavior becomes critical and hurtful. They might start to belittle you, criticize your actions, and make you feel like you're always falling short. It's like they're slowly eroding your self-esteem. Step 3, gaslighting. Now comes the mind games. The gaslighter starts to mess with your head, making you doubt your own reality. They'll deny things they've said or done, twist the truth, and make you feel like you're going crazy. It's like they're playing with your mind, leaving you feeling confused and lost. And the step 4, reconciliation. Just when you're at your lowest point, often the gaslighter will switch gears. They'll suddenly become loving and apologetic, promising to change their ways. Here it's like you have a ray of hope in the darkness, and you cling to it, hoping things will get better. The cycle repeats over and over again, like a never-ending loop. It's draining, it's soul-crushing, and it's incredibly hard to break free from. So now let's take a look at the long-term effects of gaslighting, what is called the cyclical damage. You see, gaslighting isn't just a one-time thing, as we've talked about. It's like a toxic cycle that keeps repeating itself, leaving behind deep psychological and relational scars. Imagine it like a storm that keeps rolling in, battering you with waves of manipulation and deceit. Each cycle of gaslighting erodes your sense of self-worth, leaving you feeling more vulnerable and dependent on the gaslighter. Psychologically, gaslighting can cause lasting damage. It chips away at your self-esteem, leaving you doubting your own thoughts and feelings and perceptions. You might start to question your reality, second-guessing everything you say or do. It's like a constant cloud hanging over your head, making it hard to trust yourself or others. And the damage isn't just internal, it affects your relationships too. Gaslighting can erode the trust and communication between you and your loved ones. It can create a toxic dynamic where you feel isolated and alone, unable to reach out for support or validation. Let's talk about strategies for breaking free from the gaslighting cycle. First and foremost, it's really important to recognize the signs of gaslighting and trust your instincts. If something feels off or you find yourself constantly doubting your own reality, it's time to take a step back and reassess the situation. Next, seek support from trusted friends, family members, or professionals who can provide validation and guidance. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and can help you see things clearly. Set boundaries and assert your autonomy. Don't let the gaslighter dictate your thoughts, feelings, or actions. Make it clear what behavior is acceptable and what isn't, and stick to your guns. Practice self-care and prioritize your well-being. Take time for yourself to engage in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. Focus on building your self-esteem and confidence so you're better equipped to withstand manipulation. Educate yourself about gaslighting and emotional abuse. The more that you understand about the tactics used by gaslighters, the better prepared you'll be to recognize and resist them. And finally, if you're in a situation where you feel unsafe or unable to break free on your own, don't hesitate to reach out for professional help. There are resources available such as hotlines, support groups, and therapists who can provide the assistance that you need to escape the gaslighting cycle and reclaim your power. Remember, breaking free from gaslighting isn't easy, but it is possible. By recognizing the signs, seeking support, and asserting your boundaries, you can break the cycle and reclaim your sense of self-worth and autonomy. In conclusion, while the gaslighting cycle is overwhelming and insidious, it's not insurmountable. By recognizing the phases, seeking support, and asserting your autonomy, you can break free from the cycle and reclaim your sense of self-worth and empowerment. And we're going to talk more about how to do each of these things. Before that, however, we're going to continue to unpack gaslighting, which is like someone messing with the brightness settings of your reality. Gaslighters have a few tricks up their sleeves, as we've talked about, and they'll challenge what you see with your own eyes, dangle promises they'll never keep, and try to edit your memories like a bad movie director. This isn't just mind games, it's a full-on mental power play to throw you off balance and keep you there. Getting your reality back on track is a bit like fixing a broken zipper. You start by anchoring yourself in what you absolutely know is real, facts and feelings that don't waver. You've got to remind yourself daily that you're not imagining things. And this is where a good support network comes in. Family, friends, or a therapist can be a reality check. They can confirm that you're not losing it. Piecing back your reality isn't a quick fix. It's a step-by-step journey to rediscovering and trusting your own voice again. Gaslighting can have profound and lasting effects on victims' mental and emotional well-being. Victims may experience self-doubt, anxiety, depression, and even symptoms of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, or CPTSD, which is complex PTSD. Over time, they may lose trust in their own perceptions and instincts, leading to a diminished sense of self-worth and autonomy. Gaslighting can also strain relationships with others, as victims may struggle to trust or confide in anyone for fear of being further manipulated or invalidated. Now we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the mental effects of gaslighting within relationships. If you've ever felt like you're on shaky ground when it comes to trusting your thoughts and feelings, know that you're not alone. We're going to explore what happens in the mind when it's under the strain of gaslighting. Questioning your reality. It's as if the inner compass that guides your perceptions and judgments is spinning uncontrollably. You may find that you're second-guessing the things that you once felt certain about, constantly asking yourself, am I right, or is it just me? Living on high alert. Imagine your stress level is like a silent alarm that's always on. The slightest trigger, and it sets off. This hypervigilance means that you're always bracing for the next confusion, the next doubt, living in a state of perpetual tension, feeling like you're never enough. That inner voice that once championed you now seems to whisper critiques, sowing a relentless sense of inadequacy. It's like carrying an invisible critic on your shoulder, undermining your sense of self-worth at every turn. You're lost in the fog of your own mind. With gaslighting, it can feel as if you're walking through a fog where nothing seems real. You might find yourself constantly questioning what's true and what's not, which thoughts are yours and which have been planted there by someone else's deception. There's the emotional echo. The stress and confusion can sometimes echo into other parts of your life, manifesting as anxiety or even depressive symptoms. It's important to recognize these signs not as weaknesses, but as natural responses to an unnatural situation. Remember, these experiences, while deeply challenging, are reflections of the situation you've been dealing with, not of your true self. Imagine that you have a fortress symbolizing your self-esteem. Gaslighting acts like a relentless siege against the fortress, slowly breaking down its defenses. Over time, this assault can lead us to doubt our worth, our skills, and the very decisions that we felt confident about. It's a subtle yet powerful force that makes us question the core of who we are. Now think about living with a constant whisper of doubt in your mind, a nagging feeling that makes you question your memories, your decisions, your entire grasp of reality. This is the reality for someone experiencing gaslighting, a never-ending cycle of second-guessing and hesitation, where trusting yourself becomes increasingly difficult. Navigating through life while experiencing gaslighting is akin to being caught in a storm without any way to find your bearings. The emotional upheaval is intense, leaving you feeling lost and immobilized as what's real and what's not becomes increasingly muddled. This constant turmoil can make every day feel like a struggle to find solid ground. Then there's the heavy burden of guilt or shame, an undeserved weight that gaslighting places on your shoulders. It's a pervasive feeling that follows you, coloring your interactions and your self-perception, even though you can't quite figure out why you feel this way. It's as if you're carrying a shadow that dims everything around you. And let's not overlook the impact on social connections. Gaslighting can push individuals to pull away from their support networks. This isn't a choice out of a preference for solitude, but rather a consequence of feeling overwhelmed and misunderstood. What once felt like a source of strength, our relationships, now seems fraught, with barriers intensifying feelings of isolation and exacerbating the sense of being adrift. It's important to acknowledge not just the emotional, but also the physical toll that gaslighting can take on your well-being, especially when you're in the middle of emotional abuse. Let's talk about the physical symptoms that might not be as visible, but are just as real. The grip of chronic fatigue. Imagine the energy that it takes to run a marathon, but instead of a race, it's the emotional marathon of coping with gaslighting that never seems to end. This can lead to a type of exhaustion that feels bone deep, where even after sleeping or resting, you still feel a profound weariness, as if the very core of your being needs to recharge. The elusive peace of sleep. Sleep should be a sanctuary, but when you're dealing with the aftermath or you're in the middle of emotional abuse, it can be very elusive. You might find yourself lying awake, replaying events or conversations in your head, or waking up in the middle of the night feeling anxious. It's as though your body is on constant alert, making restful sleep a rare commodity. Stress written on the body. Our bodies often speak what words cannot. Headaches can become frequent, unwelcome visitors, and muscles might knot up, particularly around the neck and shoulders, as if they're bracing for the next wave of emotional turmoil. It's as if your body is the battleground for stress, and these aches are the scars. The seesaw of appetite and weight. Stress can hijack the body's signals for hunger and fullness. Some might find that stress shuts down their appetite, food becomes unappealing, or nausea takes over. Others might turn to food for comfort, leading to weight gain. Both are natural responses to the stress hormones coursing through your system, disrupting your normal eating habits. Declining physical health. Living under constant stress can compromise your immune system. It's like your body's maintenance crew is so overwhelmed with stress that they can't keep up with regular repairs. You might catch colds more easily, take longer to recover from simple illnesses, or find that you're just not as physically resilient as you were before. These physical responses are your body's way of sounding the alarm that something is not right. Recognizing these signs is a powerful step toward taking care of your whole self, not just your emotional health. Not only is it important to understand gaslighting, we also need to be able to recognize the difference between healthy and unhealthy relationships, especially if you've been through the emotional ringer with gaslighting. Think of a healthy relationship like a two-way street. There's a give and take, right? It's built on mutual respect, solid communication, and each person bolstering the other up, not tearing them down. Now, unhealthy relationships, those are the ones that set off the alarm bells. If there's constant criticism, a lack of trust, or you're feeling more drained than energized, those are the big red flags to look out for. They're like signposts saying, hey, something's off here. And here's the kicker. Being assertive and knowing your worth is like having a good immune system for your emotions. It helps you stand your ground and draw the line where you need to. It's not about being selfish. It's about not letting someone else's issues become your norm. So keep your eyes open for the good stuff and trust that gut feeling when it tells you that something's not right. It's about building a fortress around your well-being and not settling for less. In the dance of relationship communication, the steps between healthy and unhealthy can be night and day. In the warm light of a healthy bond, every exchange is open-hearted and wrapped in respect. People really hear each other out, letting empathy lead the way to a deeper connection. Disagreements? They're not just stumbling blocks. They're chances to learn and grow stronger together. Finding that sweet spot where everyone's needs are met with kindness. But then there's the chill of an unhealthy relationship where words can sometimes cut like ice, with criticism and cold shoulders chipping away at what you've built together. If one person starts to mess with the other's sense of what's true, that's gaslighting, and it can shake the foundation of trust to the core. Sorting things out becomes harder, adding to the heartache. And when silence or harsh words are used to take the reins, it just piles on the pressure. Spotting these chilly winds early matters a lot because it's the first step in keeping the warmth and health in your relationship, making sure the emotional climate is one where you can both truly thrive. In a robust and healthy relationship, respect and trust stand out as the key ingredients. Each partner respects the other's space and personal quirks, understanding that these qualities make each of them who they are. Trust doesn't just happen, it's built brick by brick with dependable actions and honest words. This foundation enables both individuals to grow and evolve, knowing that their journey strengthens the relationship rather than competes with it. Differences between them are viewed as opportunities to learn and expand their horizons, not as threats to their unity. Conversely, in relationships that are struggling, you often find that respect has taken a backseat to controlling behaviors and jealousy. Trust may be a shaky concept, with broken promises leading to feelings of insecurity and doubt. In such dynamics, one partner may overshadow the other, hindering their ability to thrive and be themselves. Instead of appreciating the unique aspects of each other, these traits may be unfairly targeted to diminish the other's self-esteem. Recognizing and understanding these dynamics is vital. It's the first step toward building a relationship that's based on mutual respect and trust. In the world of relationships, power and control can either be a balanced scale or a seesaw. In healthy relationships, equality and fairness are the rule of thumb for every decision made together. It's a partnership in the truest sense, with both sharing the driver's seat, appreciating the value each brings to the journey. There's an empowering give and take, and every interaction is built on a bedrock of mutual respect. When it comes to making choices, it's all about negotiation and staying flexible. After all, a healthy power balance is like a dance where both partners lead at different times. But then take a look at the flip side, where the scale is tipped. In an unhealthy relationship, you'll often find one partner calling all the shots, while the other feels more like a passenger than a co-pilot. This can throw responsibilities and the balance of power out of whack. One partner may end up holding the reins too tightly, leaving the other's sense of self to wither. And when decisions come down the pipeline, they can feel one-sided with little to no regard for what the other person thinks or wants. Understanding these dynamics is really important. It's about ensuring that both people have the space to be themselves and the power to influence the relationship equally. Now let's consider the emotional give and take in relationships. In a nurturing one, emotional support flows back and forth seamlessly, creating a comforting sense of security and a place where everyone feels like they belong. In this environment, feeling valued and emotionally replenished is the norm, and the relationship stands as a pillar of comfort and resilience when life gets rocky. It's a space where emotional needs are not only recognized, but are met with heartfelt compassion and understanding. Now, on the other side of the emotional spectrum, we find unhealthy relationships where emotional needs are often sidelined or manipulated, leaving individuals wrestling with distress and a plummeting sense of self-worth. A persistent undercurrent of fear and anxiety can wash away the foundation of safety that should underpin any partnership. When emotional manipulation enters the mix, it's often about gaining control, not about nurturing the bond, which can leave a partner feeling invisible and unheard. Spotting these signs isn't just insightful, it's crucial. It helps people in the relationship to either work toward healing and balancing their emotional exchanges or to recognize when it might be necessary to step away to safeguard their emotional health. When it comes to conflict resolution in relationships, there's a clear divide between healthy and unhealthy approaches. In a healthy relationship, conflicts aren't the end of the world. They're handled with a level of respect and an eye toward solving the problem, not winning the argument. Apologies are given freely and from the heart, and forgiveness is about moving forward and deepening the understanding between partners. Disagreements are part of the landscape, not earthquakes, shaking the foundation. And the solutions found are those that uphold the dignity and address the needs of both people involved. In an unhealthy relationship, however, conflicts can quickly spiral into emotional or even physical intimidation. An abusive partner might dodge any acknowledgement of their missteps, sidestepping accountability like it's hot lava. Instead of constructive conversations, conflicts become a platform for putting the other person down. And on the rare occasion that resolutions are reached, they are often serving as one partner's interests more than the other's, leaving a trail of unresolved issues and resentments. Recognizing how conflicts are handled can be a powerful indicator of the overall health of a relationship. In the realm of relationships, autonomy and interdependence are like two sides of the same coin. In a healthy relationship, there's a sweet spot between sharing your life and keeping your own identity. It's about cheering each other on to be your own people, but also creating a bond where you can lean on each other. Think of it as a dance. Each person has their own moves, but together they're in sync. Support flows naturally. It's about genuinely wanting the best for each other, not because you have to, but because you truly want to. Now, if we swing to an unhealthy relationship, it's a different dance altogether. One partner might start to close the circle tightly, cutting the other off from friends and family, and that's a red flag. They might nurture a sticky kind of dependence that chips away at the other person's confidence and can-do spirit. Before long, the victim can feel like they're just a shadow within the relationship, their own passions and interests fading out. And the give and take of support, it becomes lopsided, all about what the abuser wants, with the victim's needs left out in the cold. Spotting these signs is crucial for maintaining one's sense of self while being part of a we rather than an I. When we talk about intimacy in relationships, we're really talking about the heart of the matter. In a healthy relationship, intimacy is a two-way street, built on mutual consent and respect, and a real joy in each other's company. There's a sanctuary of emotional and physical safety where being vulnerable doesn't feel like a risk. It feels like home. Emotional intimacy isn't just about being close. It's about being deeply connected, sharing experiences and understanding each other's inner worlds with empathy. Physical affection is just one of the many languages of love, expressing connection and care freely given, not out of duty or pressure. But when we pivot to unhealthy relationships, intimacy can take on a darker role. It can become a currency for control or a tool of manipulation. Without a sense of safety, intimacy is strained, clouded by tension and discomfort. Emotional ties might be shallow or self-serving, lacking the true warmth of empathy. And sometimes physical affection is tangled up in power plays, given with strings attached, or even withheld as a form of punishment. Recognizing these patterns in physical and emotional closeness is key to understanding the health of a relationship and ensuring it's grounded in respect and genuine connection. So, how do we start healing from gaslighting? Recovering from gaslighting begins with a brave act of acknowledging the manipulation that you faced. It's like finally seeing clearly after being lost in a fog. Recognizing the full weight of gaslighting lays the groundwork for your healing process. There are various therapeutic methods that can play a crucial role in this recovery. Trauma-informed therapy helps unpack the emotional baggage, while cognitive behavioral therapy works to reshape the thought patterns that were twisted by the gaslighter. Equally important is the power of a strong support network. Having friends, family, and professionals who stand by you can act as a touchstone of reality and provide a counterbalance to any lingering doubts. Then there's empowering yourself, which involves piecing together your sense of self, belief by belief, memory by memory. It's about gradually taking the reins of your own narrative until the voice that you trust the most is your own. Now we're going to look at ways to build self-awareness and self-esteem. This is all about getting in touch with yourself in a real, down-to-earth way. Mindfulness meditation isn't just trendy. This is a solid way to get real with what you're feeling right here and right now. How about journaling? Think of journaling as your personal debrief, where you get to celebrate the wins and nail down what really matters to you. Self-reflective readings and workshops help you get a clear picture of how you tick and how you click with others. After experiencing gaslighting, it's important to clean house mentally. Start questioning those negative whispers that aren't really yours. They're the gaslighter's leftovers. Replace them with the good stuff. Real talk about your strengths and moments of awesome. Finding role models and mentors is like having your personal dream team. They show you what healthy confidence and relationships look like. They're the people you can look up to for guidance and a little inspiration when the going gets tough. And when it comes to positive affirmations, think of them as your daily self-esteem workout. These powerful personal pep talks are tailored to pump up your confidence and remind you of your worth. Stick with them, and they'll help change the tune in your head to something that sounds like the real you. Another way to deal with and recover from gaslighting is setting boundaries. That's essentially about drawing your personal lines in the sand. These are the non-negotiables that define where you end and someone else begins. Healthy boundaries are like the walls of a house. They keep what's yours safe and show others where the entrance is. They're vital because they protect your emotional energy and create respectful spaces in your relationships. When it comes to communicating these boundaries, clarity and assertiveness are your best friends. It's not about being aggressive, it's about being firm and straightforward. You might say, I value our time together, but I need some time alone to recharge. Or, I'm happy to help with this, but I won't be able to until next week. Sometimes, though, you'll face resistance. Enforcing boundaries then becomes an act of gentle firmness. If someone keeps calling when you've asked for space, it might mean turning the phone off for a while. And when you do assert a boundary, it's not a one-off, it's a consistent choice. Finally, setting boundaries is a crucial form of self-care. It's saying yes to your well-being, and it's about making choices that support your healing journey. It's understanding that you can't pour from an empty cup, and by honoring your own limits, you're actually more present and healthy in your relationships. It's all about maintaining the balance between connecting with others and nurturing yourself. I want to acknowledge the importance of establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries in any relationship, a principle that holds even greater significance for those who have endured emotional challenges. Picture a relationship where communication is not just transparent, but is also conducted with mutual respect. This is where the dignity of your personal experience is acknowledged and the uniqueness of your individuality is honored. Envision healthy boundaries as a protective enclosure that nurtures trust and emotional well-being. These boundaries provide a secure framework where each partner can freely express themselves and feel genuinely safe. Within these parameters, there is ample room for personal growth and shared experiences. Each person retains their autonomy, yet there's a profound respect for the collective journey you're on with your significant other. It's through this mutual respect that a deeper understanding is cultivated. Conflicts are not just avoided. They're transformed into opportunities for growth, paving the way for a relationship enriched with empathy and mutual appreciation. Embracing these boundaries allows couples to approach life's challenges with resilience and togetherness, strengthening the ties that bind them. Such boundaries are the pillars of open and honest discussion, enabling both partners to resolve concerns constructively and to reaffirm the love and respect that are the hallmarks of their relationship. It is with these principles in mind that we can create not only enduring but also fulfilling relationships marked by a deep sense of harmony and collective satisfaction. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about how you set clear boundaries, something that's especially close to the heart for anyone who's been through emotional trials. Straight talk. It helps to just say what you need, like, I could really use a bit of quiet time in the evenings to wind down. Use I statements. Talk about how you feel from your own perspective. Try something like, I start to feel overwhelmed when our weekends are always packed with activities. Let's keep some just for us. Getting specific. Being clear about what you're okay with avoids confusion. You might say, let's keep our private life just that, private. Speak with confidence. You can be firm yet gentle when you talk about what matters to you. Perhaps say, discussing big decisions together is really important to me. Talk about consequences. If things go a bit sideways, it's okay to talk about what that means for you, like, if we start yelling, I'll need to take a time out until we can both cool off. Hearing each other out. A good chat goes both ways. Make sure to really hear their side and be ready to meet in the middle. Stay consistent. Keep up with your boundaries, and if you need to, remind your partner why they matter. It's all about building a relationship with clear and respected boundaries. Enforcing personal boundaries in a relationship is essential for maintaining mutual respect and individual well-being. Here are some ways to do that. Steadfast consistency. This is about holding firm on your boundaries no matter what. If you need space for solitude, make sure that you take that time, every time. This is not about being rigid, it's about honoring your needs on a consistent basis. Assertive communication. If a boundary is crossed, address it head on, but with calm authority. For example, if you're interrupted while speaking, it's perfectly okay to say, please let me finish my thoughts before you respond. Clear consequences. It's crucial to set clear outcomes for when boundaries are not respected. If your partner continues to do something that you've asked them not to, like making negative comments about your family, tell them calmly, I cannot participate in this conversation if my family is disrespected. Dedicated self-care. Caring for yourself is key. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, or speaking with a trusted friend or therapist, self-care practices can help strengthen your resolve and maintain your emotional health. Evolving boundaries. As time goes on, your boundaries might shift, and that's okay. It's important to revisit them, especially as things change in your life or in your relationship. For instance, a topic that was once off limits might be something you're ready to discuss now. Remember, boundaries aren't just a sign of self-respect. They're a signal to others about how you expect to be treated. They are your right and a reflection of your self-worth. It takes immense courage to stand in your truth, especially after experiencing emotional abuse and gaslighting. Now we're focusing on the importance of setting personal boundaries and the steps to take in enforcing them, despite the challenges that may arise. The importance of support. One of the first steps is to lean on others. This could be friends, family, or a therapist. The support network around you is a safety net, offering both emotional and practical advice to help you on this journey. Articulating your boundaries. It's essential to be clear about your limits. Tell your spouse directly what is not acceptable. You might say, "It's not okay for you to belittle me. If it happens, I will step away from the conversation." Staying composed. When you're setting these boundaries, it's important to stay calm and assertive. This isn't about provoking a confrontation. It's about protecting your well-being. If tensions rise, give yourself permission to leave the situation. Implementing consequences. If your boundaries are crossed, it's crucial to follow through with the consequences you've set. This might mean taking some time apart or insisting on counseling together. Consistency here sends a clear message. Safety first. Above all, your safety is paramount. If you feel threatened, remove yourself immediately from the environment and get to a place of safety. This might be with someone you trust or by reaching out to organizations that can help. Document everything. Keep a record of abusive incidents, which can be important later on, especially if legal steps are needed. Dates, times, and details matter. Professional guidance. A qualified therapist can be a guiding light through this. They're not just a listening ear, but can equip you with strategies and resources to deal with the situation safely. Facing the fear of setting boundaries with an emotionally abusive spouse is profoundly difficult, but remember, you deserve respect and safety. Every step you take is a step towards reclaiming your autonomy and well-being. Now we're going to explore the crucial relationship between establishing healthy boundaries and practicing self-care, especially as we navigate through the after effects of emotional abuse. Boundaries as protectors. Consider boundaries as your personal shield. They safeguard your emotional and psychological space, keeping you from harm's way. Affirmation of self-worth. By setting and maintaining these boundaries, you're not just saying that you know your value. You're actively ensuring that your safety and respect are priorities in your life. Self-care in action. Creating these safe spaces is an act of kindness to yourself. It is self-care in its most active form, a clear sign of self-compassion. Empowering ourselves. Every time you stand up for your boundaries, you're embracing your power. You're deciding that your well-being is of utmost importance and non-negotiable. Asserting autonomy. In drawing these lines, you're reclaiming control, declaring that you are the author of your story and the caretaker of your mental and emotional equilibrium. A step toward healing. It's a brave act, one that marks the beginning of a journey toward healing. Setting boundaries is laying the groundwork for a future where you can thrive. Now we're going to talk about seeking support. Understanding how to navigate and access the resources available to you can be transformative in rebuilding your sense of self after emotional abuse. Identifying supportive resources. Knowing where to find help is very important. Counseling services, support groups, and legal assistance can provide you with the guidance and advocacy that you need. Resources like the National Domestic Violence Hotline or local women's shelters can be starting points. It's about finding those safe spaces where you can speak freely and seek the help that you require. The role of community. Remember, there's immense power in community. Connecting with others who've walked a similar path can offer comfort, understanding, and the reassurance that you're not alone. Whether it's a local support group or a community center, these connections can foster healing and a sense of belonging. There are online resources and networks. The digital world can provide an extended network of support. Online forums, social media groups, and virtual counseling can offer both anonymity and convenience. Websites and apps can connect you with others who understand, provide educational materials, and offer a platform to share your story when you're ready. Professional help. Sometimes the way forward needs the guidance of a professional. Psychologists, therapists, and counselors trained in dealing with emotional abuse and gaslighting can offer personalized strategies to help you regain your confidence and autonomy. You can find such professionals through referrals, mental health organizations, or online directories like Psychology Today. As you walk this path, remember that reaching out for help is a sign of strength. It's an affirmation of your commitment to your well-being and your future. Every step that you take is a move toward a future where you are in control, valued, and free to be yourself. We're talking about a lifeline that can help steer us toward recovery and empowerment. This is the power of self-care. Self-care is not just about the occasional treat. It's about creating a holistic plan that nurtures you, body, mind, and soul. Building your self-care plan. Think of a self-care plan as your personal blueprint for well-being. It's a comprehensive approach that looks at all aspects of your health. This plan could include regular check-ins with yourself, setting time aside for activities that nourish you physically and mentally, and perhaps most importantly, giving yourself permission to put your needs first. Embracing mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness and meditation are like anchors in the turbulent sea of healing from gaslighting. They help ground you in the present moment, teaching you to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Let's try simple practices like deep breathing or guided meditations that can bring a sense of calm to your daily routine. Prioritizing physical health. Remember, your physical health is deeply intertwined with your psychological recovery. Regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and adequate sleep are pillars that support your journey to healing. These elements work together to fortify your strength, resilience, and capacity to heal from the inside out. Find solace in creativity. Creative expression can be a sanctuary for your thoughts and feelings. Whether it's painting, journaling, or making music, these outlets allow you to process and express your experiences in a way that transcend words. They're not just hobbies, they're tools for catharsis and rediscovery. Each step you take in self-care is a step toward a healthier, stronger you. It's about reclaiming your agency and recognizing that you are worthy of care and attention. Let's address some of the challenges of rebuilding trust after gaslighting. We know that rebuilding trust after gaslighting can be a daunting and challenging process, as victims usually struggle to trust their own perceptions and instincts, let alone others. This can manifest as difficulty in forming new relationships, trusting authority figures or institutions, or even trusting oneself to make decisions. Overcoming these challenges requires patience, self-awareness, and a willingness to seek support from individuals or professionals who can help to guide the healing process. Our focus today is on a journey that many of you are embarking upon, rebuilding trust after the deep impact of gaslighting. This path is not simple, but it is one that leads to empowerment and deeper connections. How do you navigate trust post-gaslighting? Gaslighting can shatter the trust that you place in others and in your own judgment. Acknowledging this damage is the first step. We'll explore how to piece together the trust that was broken and strategies such as setting small, achievable expectations in relationships to start rebuilding what was lost. There are signs of a healthy relationship that we talked about before. Knowing the signs of a healthy relationship can be your compass. You can look for mutual respect, open communication, and genuine support. These are not just ideals. They're practical signs that indicate a relationship is built on a solid, respectful foundation. How do you restore self-trust? The erosion of self-trust is a common yet devastating effect of gaslighting. When your reality has been repeatedly questioned, it's natural to feel disconnected from your inner voice. Restoring self-trust is like rekindling a friendship with yourself. It involves quieting the external noise and tuning into your own needs and desires. You start by celebrating small moments when your intuition was right, by acknowledging the choices that brought you joy and peace. It's a process of learning to listen to your gut feelings again, validating your emotions, and understanding that your thoughts have worth. You can engage in reflective practices such as journaling, which can help you to see patterns and validate your experiences. It's about creating an internal dialogue that's kind, encouraging, and supportive. Over time, as you honor your feelings and stand by your decisions, you rebuild the trust within yourself that gaslighting sought to dismantle. There is a graduality of trust. The journey to rebuild trust is not a sprint. It's more like a meandering path with its unique rhythm and timing. Trust that has been broken, particularly through something as insidious as gaslighting, won't spring back instantly, and that's okay. The rebuilding process requires you to extend grace to yourself, understanding that hesitation and fear might surface, and that's part of the healing. It's essential to celebrate the small victories, like the moment you express a boundary or the times that you trust someone and they honor it. These instances lay the bricks for a new foundation of trust. Embrace the fact that sometimes you might take a step back for every 2 steps forward, and that's part of the journey too. With each positive interaction and every supportive relationship, trust grows like a muscle being strengthened over time. With patience and self-compassion, the trust that you place so freely before it was taken for granted, can be thoughtfully given once again, both to yourself and to others. Now we're going to turn our attention to a topic that's crucial in the aftermath of emotional turmoil such as gaslighting. We're going to explore therapy, what it looks like, how it can help, and why it's such a vital part of your journey back to self. Imagine therapy as a map offering different routes to the same destination, your well-being. Individual therapy offers one-to-one sessions, dedicated space to delve into your experiences. Group therapy provides community and camaraderie, a collective healing experience. For those deep-rooted traumas, specialized therapy approaches can help you navigate through the storm and come out stronger on the other side. Finding a therapist is about connection and comfort. It's about asking the right kinds of questions to ensure that they're equipped to walk with you on this path. It should feel right, like a conversation where you're heard and understood. Therapists can help survivors recognize and challenge negative thought patterns and beliefs, developing coping skills for managing triggers and setbacks, and rebuild self-esteem and trust in themselves and others. From EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which helps rewire the distressing memories, to CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, and DBT, which is dialectical behavioral therapy, which work on reshaping the narrative you tell yourself and managing emotions day to day. These techniques are your allies. They're there to empower you to regain control over your story. Therapy is not a straight line. It's a journey with its own rhythm, sometimes challenging, sometimes enlightening. Patience and self-compassion are your companions here, reminding you that growth takes time. As we move forward, recognize that seeking therapy is a powerful step toward reclaiming your agency and health. It's a testament to your strength and your commitment to yourself. As we continue our discussion, let's review things that empower us. It's important to reflect on the fundamentals of healthy relationships, particularly for those who've endured an abusive past. Gaining a clear understanding of what characterizes a nurturing and supportive relationship is invaluable. Understanding the hallmarks of healthy dynamics, effective communication, mutual respect, genuine trust, and clear boundaries is more than just educational, it's transformative. These elements are not just concepts, they're the very pillars upon which meaningful and fulfilling relationships are built. Armed with this knowledge, you are better equipped to navigate future relationships with a sense of confidence and clarity. It's about moving forward with the understanding that you deserve a relationship that lifts you up and supports you. Now we're going to talk about another crucial step in moving forward after an emotionally abusive relationship. This is creating a personal recovery plan tailored just for you. Whether you do this yourself or with the help of a therapist, this is essential. Recovery is not one size fits all. It's deeply personal. So we start by defining what recovery means to you. What does healing look like in your life? Whether it's regaining confidence, rebuilding social connections, or finding peace, your goal should reflect your innermost needs and desires. We'll talk about how to break these down into achievable milestones, giving you a clear sense of direction. Next, we'll lay out the stepping stones to reach those milestones. This includes practical daily or weekly actions that move you closer to your goals. For example, if part of your recovery is about building self-esteem, an action step might be daily affirmations or taking up a new activity that makes you feel good about yourself. We'll also set some longer-term objectives, like perhaps returning to education or changing career paths, ensuring your plan has depth and vision. To see how far you've come and where you're heading, it's important to track your progress. Regular journaling can be a reflective and revealing practice. Therapy sessions provide professional checkpoints, and informal check-ins with friends or support groups can offer accountability and encouragement. Recovery is not a linear path. There will be times when you'll need to reassess and adjust your plan. Healing can open up new perspectives and opportunities, and your plan should have the flexibility to accommodate this growth. If a certain strategy isn't serving you anymore, we'll talk about how to tweak it so that you can continue moving forward with confidence. Remember, creating a personal recovery plan is about taking your power back. It's about saying, this is my life, my journey, and I'm in the driver's seat. The journey of healing from emotional abuse and gaslighting, well, it's a big deal, and it takes guts, resilience, and a whole lot of self-love. First things first, let's keep it real. This journey is not a straight line. It's more like a winding road with all sorts of twists and turns. And you know what? That's totally okay. Setbacks happen, but they're not the end of the road. They're just detours that show how strong we really are. Moving forward, let's give ourselves credit for every little win, no matter how small. Whether it's setting boundaries, taking time for self-care, or reaching out for support, every step counts. These victories are reminders of our progress and our ability to bounce back stronger. Plus, as we go through this journey, let's embrace the growth that comes with it. We're learning more about ourselves every day, our worth, our strengths, and what truly matters to us. It's like a journey of self-discovery that's making us stronger and more resilient along the way. And remember, healing is not a race. It's a lifelong journey. There will be ups and downs, but that's all part of the process. Let's take care of ourselves, lean on our support systems, and keep moving forward one step at a time. Now we're going to talk about the power of support networks and community, something vital for us as we heal from emotional abuse and gaslighting. This is about surrounding ourselves with people who uplift and understand us every step of the way. First off, let's talk about building new networks. Whether it's joining clubs, trying out new activities, or getting involved in organizations, it's all about finding fresh connections that resonate with us and bring positivity into our lives. Now on to social media. This can be a great source of support and connection, but it's important to tread carefully. Let's seek out safe spaces and supportive communities while steering clear of anything that might trigger negative feelings. Next up, consider diving into community activities or volunteering. Not only does it help us make connections, but it also gives us a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Plus, it's a chance to meet people who share our values and passions. Let's not forget about professional and peer support. Both are essential on this journey. Professionals offer expertise and guidance, while peers provide empathy and understanding from firsthand experience. Balancing both can be a game changer for our healing process. We're going to talk about setbacks now. It's important to recognize that setbacks are a natural part of the recovery process. Just as we expect sunny days and rainy days, we can expect ups and downs on our path to healing. By understanding this, we can better prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for what may come our way. So what can we do when setbacks inevitably arise? Coping strategies are key. We can practice self-soothing techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or engaging in activities that bring us comfort and joy. And remember, reaching out for support is not a sign of weakness, but a strength. Whether it's confiding in a trusted friend, a therapist, or a support group, having someone to lean on can make all the difference. Additionally, reframing our perspectives can be powerful. Instead of seeing setbacks as roadblocks, we can view them as opportunities for growth and resilience. Setbacks aren't just challenges to overcome, they're valuable learning experiences. Each setback teaches us something new about ourselves and strengthens our coping skills. By reflecting on what went wrong and how we can approach similar situations differently in the future, we empower ourselves to navigate future challenges with greater ease and confidence. Lastly, let's talk about maintaining hope. It's easy to feel discouraged when setbacks occur, but it's essential to keep hope alive. We can do this by focusing on the progress we've already made, no matter how small, and visualizing a positive future. Envisioning ourselves living the life we deserve can fuel our determination to keep pushing forward, even in the face of adversity. So, setbacks may shake us, but they do not define us. By anticipating setbacks, employing coping strategies, learning from our experiences, and maintaining hope, we can overcome any obstacle that comes our way on our journey of healing. Gaslighting and emotional abuse. They're heavy subjects, but by understanding them, we empower ourselves to recognize and combat these harmful tactics. Here's an overview. Let's start with the basics. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic where someone distorts or denies reality to make you question your perception, memory, and even your sanity. It's like being in a twisted reality where what you know to be true is constantly undermined. So how do we spot gaslighting when it's happening? Look out for signs like denying or minimizing your feelings, questioning your thoughts and judgments, blaming you for your reactions, or trivializing your concerns. These tactics are meant to make you doubt yourself and your reality. It's crucial to trust your instincts and recognize these manipulation patterns. If something feels off, it probably is. Seek validation from trusted sources, friends, family, or professionals who can provide a reality check. And don't hesitate to document incidents and inconsistencies. It's your evidence against their gaslighting. The emotional toll of gaslighting can be devastating. It chips away at your self-esteem and confidence, leaving you feeling anxious, depressed, and isolated. You're left in a constant state of confusion, self-doubt, and struggling with trust issues. But remember, you're not alone, and there is a way out. In wrapping up, understanding gaslighting is the first step to breaking free from its grip. By recognizing the signs, trusting your instincts, and seeking support, you can reclaim your truth and rebuild your sense of self. You deserve to live in a reality where your feelings and experiences are validated and respected. Let's continue with some essential strategies for effective communication and the journey of recovering from emotional abuse and gaslighting. Our goal is to equip ourselves with the tools and knowledge to navigate through these tough times. First things first, let's talk about communication. It's all about expressing ourselves assertively while also being good listeners and validating others' feelings. By setting and sticking to healthy boundaries, we create a space where we feel respected and valued. Now on to recovery. Seeking support from trusted individuals or professionals is key. Engaging in self-care activities like meditation or therapy helps us heal from the inside out. It's about rebuilding our confidence, setting boundaries, and learning to trust again while being aware of warning signs. Lastly, as we move forward, let's focus on growth and empowerment. Building resilience and seizing new opportunities allow us to move beyond our past experiences. Let's celebrate every step of progress and never forget to prioritize our well-being and seek help when needed. As we come to the end of this presentation on gaslighting and the road to recovery, I want to share some words of encouragement and hope. Dealing with the aftermath of gaslighting is no easy feat, but I want you to know that brighter days are ahead. Think of recovery as a journey. Yes, it has its share of bumps and hurdles, but it's also brimming with opportunities for growth and healing. It's about taking each step forward with purpose, drawing strength from the support systems around you, and recognizing the resilience within you. Remember, you're not alone in this. There are compassionate individuals and helpful resources ready to accompany you on your journey. So hold on to that spark of confidence in your ability to overcome, and stay committed to shaping a future filled with inner strength and empowerment. As we conclude, I want to leave you with this empowering reminder. You are stronger than you know, and brighter days are ahead. No matter how challenging the road may seem, there is hope, healing, and resilience within you. Keep believing in yourself and remember that you are never alone in this journey. On the following slides, you'll find a wealth of resources ready to support you along your path in healing. Whether you need someone to talk to, information to empower yourself, or guidance on your journey, these resources are here for you. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need any assistance. I'm proud of you, and you've got this.